Regulators say the companies used their size, money, and power to stifle competition. Professor Ahmed Benafa is a technology expert and professor at San Jose State University. Let's bring him in this morning to talk about what this all means for the tech world. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good to talk to you. Let's start with Google. What chances, or what changes rather, could the average user start to see because of the ruling this week that they have this outsized control or monopoly on digital ads?
More options. For example, when you do some search about hotels, the top will be Google hotels, or the flights from Google. So what's going to happen if this rolling continue and they force Google to have some kind of a change in their behavior by allowing other search engines or other companies to advertise, then they're going to say the average user will see more selections for the hotels, for the car rentals. All of these things will be better than what we have now. Now we are really in the ecosystem of Google when we are looking for these kind of results.
So, for example, when people do a search for something like a hotel, as you mentioned, or maybe even a news story or something like that, they'll see the top 3 or 4 things that come up on the Google search page will be, the sponsored things, the sponsored products that Google is kind of pushing for. Is that the type of stuff that we may not see if this isn't appealed?
Yes, if they the appeal will lead into 2 options. Number one is the breakup of the ad tech or the advertisement unit of Google, which is the worst case scenario in this case. Or they can ask them to change their behavior by saying you cannot just have only the companies who are paying you to have those ads at the top. You have to open the page for more options, so the users or the customers can see more than just Google hotels or shopping from Google. We see that all the time when we search for this. We have some kind of at the top, which is the recommendation of Google, because those companies are paying Google to be at the top search. This is dominating the market, and this is the issue that we are dealing with in this case.
Let's switch gears to talk about Meta. This was the first week of the antitrust trial against Meta. The parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is accused of having a social media monopoly and faces a threat of being broken up by the federal government. How likely is it, do you think, that will ultimately happen?
Well, it's still at the beginning. Zuckerberg was for 3 days, on the stand answering questions, and just to understand how big is this, the whole story about the advertisement on the web. The market in the United States about $300 billion. Google, 75% of revenue of Google is coming from advertisement. 90% plus of the revenue of Meta coming from advertisement. In order for them to get those advertisement or those ads to the customers, they have different units. For example, in the case of Meta, you have something like Instagram, you have WhatsApp, you have all these things that give them information, and this is how they push their product to them. So it's going to be really a long fight to spin off or break up companies like Meta. But I want to add one thing here. I mean, the breakup of big tech is always comes out with a good thing. I mean, if we remember what happened in the 90s when Microsoft was forced to separate the Explorer out of the operating system, that actually gave birth to Google, and Google came up, with a better search engine, and then with Chrome. So there's always some kind of a good product because you're opening the door and the market for competition in this case.
And so you expect that these ultimately will be beneficial for customers and consumers of social media?
Yeah, I see this one because the more options we have, the better pricing, the better competition, and also it's more creativity for the newcomers. Now, one of the practices that anybody read that judgment, which is 115 pages against Google, they're going to see that those companies are buying small companies when they're still at the early stage because they know that there could be a threat to them. This is a practice which is really suppressing any kind of competition in the future.
All right. Well, we will continue to follow all of this. I'm sure it's not the last time we'll talk about this. Professor Ahmed Benafa, thanks for speaking with us on this topic.
Sure.